Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. Oh, it feels so good to say that again. I've been gone for a little while, I do apologise, but I am back, I am feeling refreshed and I am ready to create more content for you guys, so thank you so much for your patience. But to talk a little bit more about this build today, this is actually part of a collaboration between myself, Miss Simrino aka April and Griffy aka Tonya, and we decided to build 3 townhouses in Newcrest for kind of like a love triangle between 3 separate Sims. And what's really interesting is that we've each taken a completely different approach to the houses. So I've gone with a single sim who is kind of into a little bit of everything. They're into a little bit of gardening, a little bit of like beekeeping, and then also they actually have a streaming room. So I imagine that they're perhaps a part-time content creator slash streamer, and they may be like stream on an evening and earn some extra income is kind of what I was thinking, because I haven't ever really created or sort of built a house for a single sim with like particular hobbies, so this was just a really kind of refreshing build for me to tackle. And of course, if you would like to check out Griffy and Miss Simrino's builds, they will be linked down in the description box just below. But yeah, it's super interesting. We took 3 completely different routes and it was just really interesting how it all kind of came together. And I know that April explained this in her voiceover, but what we were going to do originally is do 3 houses on one lot. And so April actually, so Miss Simrino created each of these shells, by the way. I should probably mention that because I haven't actually mentioned it. I've just realised you've jumped into this speed build and the house was already there and I haven't even explained why. So Miss Simrino created the shells, like the beautiful, like these suburban sort of townhouse shells. So the original plan was for us to, I would say finish mine, and then I would pass the tray files on to April, and then she'd pass the tray files on to Tonya, and we'd do it that way. But then we realised that number 1, that was kind of putting a lot of pressure on all of us individually, and then number 2, we weren't sure if you guys would actually want to download all 3 houses on one lot. So what we decided to do was build them in Newcrest. So I got the far left lot, which I'm hoping I'm building on. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm sure I quadruple checked this before I started building. So I got the far left. I don't know if Tonya got the middle one and then April got the right one. I should know this. Unfortunately, I don't. It's just me and my brain. Anyway, yeah, so if you would like to, then obviously you can download each of these individual houses from us and then just place them down in Newcrest and kind of play it out that way, and perhaps move 3 separate Sims in and then just play out your own storyline. So I know that April went for a really kind of seductive sim. So her interior was very red and kind of sexy and romantic, and then I've gone for this kind of like springtime vibe with a sim who loves sort of like hobbies and crafting and streaming, and they like a little bit of everything. And then I know that Tonya did like this kind of like skater girl sort of interior, so that was really interesting. So however you want to play this out, plus just like please feel free. So anyway, the exterior is starting to come together really nicely. I opted for this yellow exterior because I don't believe I've ever done a yellow exterior on the channel. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. If I have, it was a really long time ago. So I just wanted to do something completely different, given the fact that the shell was given to me, and I just took it as an opportunity to create something that I wouldn't usually sort of gravitate towards, because it's so easy. I talk about this quite often on the channel, to get yourself in this, not a rut, but like a bit of a groove with your building, and then you do kind of similar things all the time. And I didn't want to do something that would be like obvious to me, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not the best at explaining things, but yeah, what we end up doing here is we end up completing the exterior, all the landscaping, all of the back garden. So we'll talk a little bit more about this sim and their hobbies and sort of interests as we move along in the house. But as I stated at the beginning, I imagine that they like all sorts of different things, right? Because like me personally, I like all sorts of different things, and I know a lot of people do. They're not necessarily just focused on one thing. So I wanted to make it quite apparent that this sim just had a bunch of different hobbies, and I'm not entirely sure what they do for work or what they do as a career. I didn't really give it that much thought. I was more focused on their home life and what they would possibly bring to this love triangle. So I imagine that this is a really sweet, soft-spoken sim, very attractive physically, and kind of has this magnetic energy, is kind of how I was portraying this and wanted to portray this within the sort of decoration style and everything that we had going on. Really, really sweet, you know, like just a really sweet sim, and I'm hoping that I got this across with the decor and the exterior and everything else. And it was really fun actually, because when I got onto the interior, it sort of allowed me to play around with colour schemes that I wouldn't necessarily use normally, as well as like items that I wouldn't necessarily use. So it was just a really interesting collaboration, and I really hope you all enjoy it. I had a blast creating this, and I've no doubt that the three of us will be collaborating again very soon on something else. We initially wanted to wait until the new expansion pack came out. I think it's called Love Struck, and then we just decided, oh, you know, like maybe we could do something when the new expansion pack comes out. I don't know, you know, I'll have to speak to Tanya and April about it, but yeah, we decided to kind of preempt the Love Struck sort of situation. So you could definitely, when the pack comes out, you could sort of make the changes to the builds, or you could maybe take this idea and apply it to the new world with new sims, or whatever you wanted to really. But no, yes, we are working on the back garden here. We have some chickens, we have a swing, we have a barbecue, there's a fire pit, there's an external garage as well. It's just a really kind of wholesome house for a single sim. And again, I'm not used to creating houses for single sims, so this was super refreshing. However, if you're not really into the whole love triangle single sim thing, then this house, if you wanted to download it fully furnished, you could definitely, because there's 2 bedrooms in this house. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Technically in this house it's 1 bedroom and then like a streamer's room, but the streamer's room is big, so like this could definitely be a really wholesome family house as well, if you're not really too bothered about sort of playing out the love triangle storyline. So you could definitely make any changes that you wanted to with the interior. It's very versatile, and it just looks like a typical suburban house, you know. April absolutely nailed the kind of style of the townhouse, because I was thinking, when I think suburban townhouses, because I live in the UK, they don't really exist here. Like, I live myself in a 3-story townhouse, but our townhouses, I mean, typically aren't like, they don't look like this, you know. So I'm so glad that she decided to take the reins with that, because I don't think mine would have been anywhere near as good. So April did a fantastic job. But yeah, so here's the flower arranging station from Seasons. Then we have some planter boxes, as I said, the chicken coops here as well. There's just plenty of activities. There's a bee keeping box too, that's of course going to help when you sim. I mean, I say when you sim, if you wanted your sim to be a bit more of a green thumb, like I imagine the sim would be. There's a barbecue here as well, and then we just carry on the landscaping throughout, just to make sure that everything looks kind of you know, cohesive and like it belongs. And then I use this umbrella as well from, I think it's from the debug menu of My Wedding Stories, and then I put 2 little seats underneath. I just thought that was really cute, so perhaps when they entertain, you know, they can kind of sit there. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. And also the garage space is It's a functional garage space. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we move on to it a little bit later in the video, but it is a functional garage space, although there is a lot of clutter going on in there as well. So again, if you wanted to turn this into a more of a family house, then you could even turn that into another bedroom if you wanted and have this as a 3-bedroom house. So yeah, quite versatile. And then this is where we try and work out the floor plan. I didn't struggle too much actually. It kind of laid it out itself while I was kind of trying to work it out for myself. It kind of floor planned itself, and I love it when houses do that. So we do have a living room as you walk in, and I have spoken about this on the channel before, where I love it when you can see the staircase in the living room. I just think it offers this really cozy vibe that I just adore. So whenever I can do it, I will do it. And this house allowed me to do it, so I was like, oh, it's just perfect. So yeah, the living room with the exposed staircase, and then at the back we have the kitchen, and then we do have a full bathroom downstairs. The bathroom upstairs is a half bathroom, so it's just a toilet and a sink, but I figured if you do have a single sim living here, I didn't think that was too big of a deal. So yeah, this is where we start working on the living room, and I'm trying to bring in kind of like this duck egg blue along with pops of yellow. I just thought that complemented the exterior really, really well. And then of course using these little cushions from one of the login events. I'm so glad we have these in a variety of colours. Although I was looking for, when I was doing the streamers room in this house, I was looking for a hot pink swatch and I couldn't find it. I don't know whether I was being like I couldn't see it or whether we don't have it. But I expected to have some sort of a hot pink swatch, and it just surprised me that I couldn't see one if we do have it, or if we don't have it, it surprised me. But anyway, it's not relevant for this room that we're working on now, so let's not talk about it. So yeah, we do put a TV above here, and this is the first time I've used this TV from, is this from the Modern Looks kit? I have a funny feeling it is. So it's kind of like if you're familiar with the Samsung frame TVs, so the whole point of them is when they're not on, they just look like an artwork, a piece of artwork. So I loved that in this build. I thought the yellow kind of popped really well and complemented the entire kind of vibe that we were going for. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I don't know, it just fit the room so well. And then I also add some clutter on top of the fireplace. It took me ages to try and work out which rug I wanted to use in here. I think I end up keeping this one. I love this one. I think this is from For Rent. And I remember when that pack came out, it was just such a nice surprise to have a rug like this. I don't know why it surprised me, but I use it quite a lot, specifically in this grey swatch, because it kind of just fits with anything really. So yeah, this is just the clutch on top of the fireplace. I just wanted to make it super cozy, but also really fresh as well, and just kind of, you know, it sort of shows the sort of sim that lives here. I hope that comes across with the exterior decor and the interior decor, because it's not hard. I mean, it kind of is hard to tell a story of a sim through decoration. I personally love doing it, although I do find it challenging sometimes, specifically when it's a house for a single sim. I mean, I could have given this sim a child, and I did contemplate that because of the second bedroom, but then I figured that the whole point of this was for them to be in a love triangle, and I think we all decided that they would be single sims. So I've seen April's interior, I haven't seen Tonya's as of yet, and if you're not familiar with these creators, I think most of you will be at this point, but again, they will be linked in the description box below, so definitely go and check them both out. They are so talented, and I was extremely lucky to work alongside both of them. I was just like, oh wow, thank you so much for including me, you two, because I look up to both of them as people and as builders. So yeah, definitely check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, we're just finishing up the living space here. I love this like side table. I think this is from For Rent as well. For Rent came with some really cool build and buy items, at least I think so. And oh no, this isn't from For Rent, this is from the Crystal Creations stuff pack, isn't it? Yes, sorry. Okay, so the side table's from Crystal Creations. That pack also came with some really nice items. But yes, this is the kitchen. It took me a little bit of time to try and work out the floor plan and also which cabinets I wanted to use. So I ended up using these ones from the Dream Home Decorator pack because I haven't really used these in what feels like a long time. I honestly can't remember the last time I used these, and I just thought the swatch fit in really well with the vibe of the house, the kind of more modern look as well, because whilst it's not a really modern house, it kind of has pops of this like more traditional elements. You know, I think it just fits in really well. I was initially thinking of using, I know we have a yellow swatch. Is it the Country Kitchen kit? Or is it Cottage Living? I always get confused because the kitchen cabinets are so similar in both of those packs. But I know that we had like a shabby chic is what I would call it, cabinet and, you know, kitchen set. So initially I was thinking, oh, well, let's do that. But then I thought, you know, you can go too kind of far with the yellow, you know, for it to be too overwhelming, and that's what I was trying to avoid. So you can see me here trying to work out which tiles I wanted to use for the walls, because I think it's because I haven't built for so long. I was just really rusty, and that's absolutely fine. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get back into the groove of things, but I'm sure I'll find it again. I've definitely found it with this house. So this collab came at such a perfect time, because I haven't been building for the last few weeks. I haven't really spoken about, well, I have on my community tab on YouTube. I think I got incredibly burnt out, and it's completely fine to admit that. It happens to everybody. And it happened to me when I least expected it. I was bumbling along, doing my thing, and then boom, I was like, I'm feeling incredibly burnt out. I started getting really down on my content and down on myself, and so I just thought I just need to take a break. And it's okay to take a break if you need to take one. Your mental health is more important than anything. So that's exactly what I did. So I just wanted to thank you all as well for sticking with me. But yeah, normal content is resuming. I have some very exciting projects in the works over the next couple of months that I'm extremely excited to share with you all, and yeah, just feeling extremely grateful. But yeah, you know, anyway, we have moved on to the downstairs bathroom. I wanted to put a bath in here, and then it just wouldn't, I could not make it fit with the door placement and everything else. So this is the only full bathroom in the build. I was really disappointed in myself actually that I didn't make the bathroom upstairs big enough to be a full bathroom. It's very rare that I'll do that, but sometimes it happens and you just have to roll with it, and that's what I had to do. So that's exactly what I did. Anyway, this is the garage space. So I put a few skill building activities in here because, again, I imagine this sim likes doing a variety of things. I think it's fantastic when people have a wide variety of hobbies and activities that they do. So I wanted this sim to be more involved with that sort of stuff. And then as well, I did decide to have this sim have probably a small dog is what I envisioned. So I do add a pet bed and a pet bowl. I think I did it off camera because I just suddenly realized that that's what I wanted to do, and I forgot to press record, so I thought I'll verbally mention it when I'm doing my voiceover so that you guys kind of understand what's going on. So yeah, I imagine that they have a small dog, perhaps a sausage dog or something like that. I'm only saying that because I have a sausage dog in real life. So maybe they have a sausage dog. But yeah, so the garage it's not too complex. There's nothing too much going on in here, but you know, if you wanted to turn this into something else, then please feel free. I just wanted it to be more of like a multi-use space, you know, with a bit of clutter, bit of skill building activities going on, bit of a multi-purpose space. So I really like how it turned out, and the basement treasures kit came in so handy with this as well. I just thought I love that so much, because if I'm ever doing a garage, I always add the basement treasures kit items to it. I just think it looks so good. So yeah, this is where I figured out that we can only really fit a toilet and a sink in here, so I was a little bit down on myself about it, but I just rolled with it. Look, these things happen. It is what it is. You could definitely bump out if you wanted to take away some space from this bedroom on the left, but I didn't want to do that because that's where I envisioned, that's what I decorated as the main bedroom. So I didn't want to lose any space in here, but you could definitely switch the bedrooms round if you wanted to, make the bathroom a little bit bigger, but I just chose not to. So again, sticking with the yellow and blue theme here as well. I think it looks really nice, although I think I changed the rug off camera because I was thinking, okay, well, it just looks a little bit too yellow, and there's really no blue that sort of ties in with the curtains that I've been using throughout the build, so I decided to change it off camera. I think I changed it to a rug from the Dream Home Decorator pack, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so this is the streaming room, and this was super fun for me to create because I've never actually done anything like this in a build before, I don't think. I had this epiphany, and I was like, well, I've got like a content creation room in my house, like why not give this sim a bit of a content creation room? Perhaps they do it as a hobby, perhaps they do it as a part-time job, maybe it's their full-time job. I really didn't give it too much thought. I just knew that this sim is really into content creation, and I thought that was awesome. So yeah, it's a really cool space. It's more of like a hangout space where you can, you know, stream and watch some TV, kick back and relax, edit your videos, hang out with your audience. It's super cool. And of course we did get all this stuff with the high school years pack. So I was really excited to use all that here because I haven't really ever done anything like this before. I've always wanted to create like a content creator's apartment in San Myshuno. I maybe need to do that. I might do it on camera though, or I might do it on a live stream. I don't know, I've got so many ideas. And now that I've come back, I'm like, oh my gosh, so many ideas. What can I get done? What can I do? So yeah, feeling overwhelmed, but in a very, very good way, you know. That's where I'm at the minute. So yeah, we use a lot of items from high school years. I was going to say horse ranch. From high school years, just to clutter up the space, because what I was envisioning is, of course, when you're watching someone, you can see their background, you know, when they're streaming and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, I was looking at my space and I was thinking, oh, well, what, you know, I can kind of make it look like mine. It doesn't really. I just took inspiration from it, and then inspiration from other people's kind of setups that I've seen. And then this space over here, I had no idea what I wanted to put, so I figured I'll just add this really nice bookshelf that came with high school years. I love this, the size and the shape of this. It just works so well. And then just cluttering up some bits here. I thought I'll add a mirror because maybe they can, you know, make sure they look good before they start streaming. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed this. I very much had an absolute blast partaking in this collab. So again, if you'd like to check out Miss Sim Reno's and Griffey's content, their videos will be linked down in the description box below. And if you'd like to download this house, it's available on the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much everyone for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you again next time. Bye.